I'm Alexander Yang. I'm going to try and tell you about how you can work with Algonquin and some of the benefits for you from outside. And I'm not ignoring those of you who may yet not have formed their own companies, because we have resources to help all sorts of different stages of development. We also have an entrepreneurship center here at the college to help students who are coming up with their own ideas and maybe see some opportunities to develop new solutions. So without further ado, and again, apologies for the 80s style text computery sort of look, but my font, I guess, didn't get carried over. Anyway, I run the Construction Research Center, and our goal is to leverage digital technology and collaboration tools for the construction industry. And BIM is a great example of both of these things culminating together. It's digital technology on the one side, and it's an enabler of us to work better together and more effectively, and in modes that are more conducive of sustainable technology development. Two of the main aspects of that are building analytics, so looking at information that we get. This building, one of the very exciting features of it, it's replete with thousands of sensors that measure all sorts of interesting properties. There's strain gauges on the bridge as you walk over. You can measure the force of people going over. Our foundations have accelerometers in them, so when there's earthquakes, we can detect, well, what's happening and measure some of those values. So this is all information that we hope to use here in an academic environment, but ultimately to teach people and develop new solutions, ideally together with industry, so that we can come up with better ways of doing things. As our buildings become more demanding, as our activities become more demanding, well, our buildings need to keep up, and the new focus on being more energy efficient is very imperative to all that. Next generation collaboration is also the other one. So in a big construction project, there's often, well, obviously, many different participants involved. So bringing all these people together more effectively is another main theme of this center. I'm just going to show you here a little graphic that we made. This was actually made by one of our professors at the back, Chris Hewitt, who's been a very active participant in some of our work at the Research Center. But this is a scan from a LiDAR tool, as Darren described before. Very similar, and we made a little animation of it. I wanted to show you this just to inspire you a little bit. This is the space just out in front of us. This is literally hundreds of millions of data points that were collected by a laser scanner to represent this information. We can now travel into a virtual realized space, make measurements, make designs. One of the tools we have in our construction research lab is called the Christie Hollow Station. It's a little cubicle-sized sort of object thing that you can get into, put on 3D glasses, and then visualize all of this in 3D with other people. We can then go into a building we're going to make, well, we haven't made yet, and say, okay, maybe I'm the mechanical guy, and I've got some ductwork that has to go here, but maybe my buddy next to me, the electrical guy, says, oh, I got some wiring that has to go through, and then the architect's getting upset because it's ruining all his nice features. But we could have this argument and discussion way before we even start to consider building the building, when we're still in the planning stages, so that we can avoid costly mistakes of doing it maybe not the right way and then having to undo it and redo it. So this was really just to illustrate some of that. Some of the other technologies we have are 3D printing technology, very sophisticated thermographic technology. So we can start to combine all these things together. And one interesting thing that I heard from, well, I can't even remember the source, but a gentleman involved in the power industry was saying how, as he saw it, the next frontier in terms of building improvements in efficiency kind of leads from our history. We started with things like building materials and things like that, and developing better control systems and electronics and technologies to control it. The last frontier, as they put it to me, was people. How we occupy buildings. And I've heard from lots of architects too, you can build the best building ever until you get the people in there. As they mess it all up, like propping the back door open or opening the window or changing all the settings. So rather than trying to constrain their activities, we need to understand them better so that we can build buildings that really serve the purpose. I'm just going to describe very quickly now a little bit of some of the opportunities that we can offer you, and then just walk you very quickly through how you can get together with us. And I invite you to contact and reach out to us after. If any of this appeals to you, if you'd like to learn more, or if you have some research projects that you'd like to undertake with us. We have a lot of resources here at the college. Companies can access them as they work with us. Not only do we have very sophisticated equipment, we have grants that we can apply for to help pay for some of those costs, as well as very talented individuals in a plethora of different disciplines that can offer their expertise. Our projects are about solving problems. I spoke to some individuals. I had the privilege of speaking to the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association, and I was talking about research. And I could tell they were getting a little turned off. And then I realized, well, research for some means gentlemen in lab coats with beakers in a laboratory doing very highfalutin kind of science stuff. Well, our focus here, just like the college approach, is applied, is practical in its focus. What we want to do is solve the problems that are facing your industry. So don't mistake the term research here as something that's inaccessible. It's simply us trying to help you solve your problems. And input into direction and training. So we need industry to tell us also, are we on the right track with what we're developing? Are we developing solutions that you want? And also, are our programs in line with what the industry needs? So these are all things that you can get as benefit from working together with us here at the college. This graphic, due to the text, might be a little bit difficult to read, but it's a general characterization of how our projects go. We start off with understanding from our industry partners what they want. We try to make things available for them online so they can apply there. And then we try and fit them, if you will, with the resources we have here. We're very careful to make sure that we don't promise things we don't do, but we seek out as much as we can from our college resources to make sure that that matches right. We set up an agreement, we start our project, and together we develop a solution. And most importantly, the partner retains any intellectual property when they work together. That's something that also is hopefully very attractive as well. Our goal isn't to hold on to stuff and commercialize it and things like that. Our goal is to help industry. Again, I'll just read you this text because it might be a little bit difficult for you to see, but this is an example of one of the projects that we've done. We developed a very sophisticated 3D printed model using a little bit of laser scanning, working with our 3D printer, and developed for them a very sophisticated model for their LeBreton Flats effort. We were very privileged to be part of that initiative, and we were really happy we could deliver something that somebody really wanted and helped them. So this just gives you an idea, and the bottom picture there hopefully shows you a little bit of the detail. We were able to achieve buildings that were about yay high, that had incredibly accurate details. You could see the little floors and the signs on the front. So this is just a start. There's so many more applications we can use using all our tools together. In terms of more project examples, I'm going to make a shameless plug for our Applied Research Day, which is happening this Friday here at the college, because we're going to have hundreds, just over 100 projects that you can see from not just the construction discipline, but all sorts of other areas. And I'd just like to mention, yes, I represent the Construction Research Center, but I got a bunch of colleagues that represent different areas, and ultimately our role is to try and connect all the resources we have at the college to receptors in industry for people that need help with their problem solving. So finally, I just wanted to say thank you very much and ask if you had any questions, or if you'd like, feel free to email me in the future if you want to find out more or arrange a tour for my lab. Thank you very much.